Hello! Hello, friends. Welcome. I was just enjoying a treat from Keeler and Peterson. This macaroon happens to be fat-free. So, welcome. First of all, what I would like you to do is to go to the top right-hand corner of your screen, your Zoom screen. I'm sure you're familiar. There's a little waffle there, and there are two choices. You can check gallery or you can check speaker. Please check speaker. Good? Thank you. I'm Rachel Murdy, and I have this incredible company of women working with me on Ibsen's A Dollhouse as a soap opera, influenced by soap operas of the early 70s. And we are on episode 6. It's a very faithful, I won't even say adaptation, I will say version of A Dollhouse by Henrik Ibsen. We are on episode 6, and we are starting Act 3. We do every word of William Archer's English translation from 1889, 10 years after it was first premiered. So, thank you for being here. I hope you checked speaker. And now I present to you Home with the Helmers. And now, the continuing story of Home with the Helmers, brought to you by Keeler and Peterson. And now, the continuing story of Home with the Helmers, brought to you by Keeler and Peterson.
Nadal go nie ma, a to już czas. Mam nadzieję, że on... O, jest. Wejdź. Nie ma tu nikogo. Still not here. And the time is nearly up. If only he hasn't... Oh, here he is. Come in. There is no one here.
I found a note from you at my house. What does it mean?
I must speak to you.
Indeed. And in this house?
I could not see you in my rooms. There is no separate entrance. Come in. We are quite alone. The servants are asleep. And the Helmers are at the ball upstairs.
So the Helmers are dancing this evening. Really?
Yes. Why not?
Quite right. Why not?
And now let us talk a little.
Have we anything to say to each other?
A great deal.
I should not have thought so.
Because you have never really understood me.
What was there to understand? The most natural thing in the world. A heartless woman throws a man over when a better match offers.
Do you really think me so heartless? Do you think I broke with you lightly?
Did you not?
Do you really think so?
If not, why did you write me that letter?
Was it not best? Since I had to break with you, was it not right that I should try to put an end to your love for me?
So that was it? All this for the sake of money.
You ought not to forget I had a helpless mother and 2 brothers. We could not wait for you as your prospects then stood.
Did that give you the right to discard me for another?
I don't know. I have often asked myself whether I did right.
When I lost you, the very ground seemed to sink from under my feet. Look at me now. I'm a shipwrecked man clinging to a spar.
Rescue might be at hand.
It was at hand, but then you stood in the way.
Without my knowledge. Nils, I didn't know till today that it was you I was to replace in the bank.
Well, I take your word for it. But now you do know. Do you mean to give way?
No, for that wouldn't help you.
Oh, help. Help. I should do it whether or no.
Life has, I have learned prudence. Life and bitter necessity have schooled me.
And life has taught me not to trust fine speeches.
Then life has taught you a sensible thing. But deeds you will trust.
What do you mean?
You said you were a shipwrecked man clinging to a spar.
Yeah, I have good reason to say so.
I am a shipwrecked woman clinging to a spar. I have no one to care for.
You made your own choice.
I had no choice.
Well, what then?
How if we 2 shipwrecked people join hands?
Kristine.
What do you think brought me here to town?
Had you any thought of me?
I must have work, or I can't live. All my life, as long as I can remember, I have worked. Work has been my one great joy. Now I stand here quite alone in a world so terribly aimless and forsaken. There is no happiness in working for oneself. Nils, give me somebody and something to work for.
No, that can never be. It is simply a woman's romantic notion of self-sacrifice.
Have you ever found me romantic?
Would you really? Tell me, do you know of my past?
Yes.
And do you know what people say of me?
Did not you say that with me you would have been another man?
I am sure of it.
Is it too late?
Kristine, do you know what you're doing? Yes. You do. I see it in your face. Have you the courage
I need someone to tend. And your children need a mother. And you need me. And I need you. Nils, I believe in your better self. With you, I fear nothing.
Thank you. Thank you, Kristine. Now, I shall make others see me as you do. Ah, I forgot.
The tarantella. Go, go.
Why? What is it?
Don't you hear the dancing overhead? As soon as they come over, they will be here.
Yes, I'll go. But it's too late now. Oh, of course, you don't know the step I have taken against the Helmers.
Yes, Nils, I know it.
And yet you have the courage to...
I know what lengths despair can drive a man to.
If I could only undo it.
You can. Your letter is still in the box.
Are you sure?
Yes, but...
Oh, now I understand. You want to save your friend at any price. Say it out. Is that your idea?
Nils, a woman who has sold herself for the sake of others does not do so again.
I will demand my letter back again.
Mm-hmm.
No, yes.
No.
Yes. Of course, I'll wait till Helmer comes. I'll tell him to give it back to me. That it's only about my dismissal, that I don't want it read.
No, Nils. You must not recall the letter.
But tell me, wasn't that just why you got me to come here?
Yes, in my first terror. But a day has passed since then, and in that day I have seen incredible things in this house. Helmer must know everything. There must be an end to this unhappy secret. These two must come to a full understanding. They can't possibly go on with these shifts and concealments.
Very well. If you like to risk it. But there is one thing I can do, and at once.
Make haste. Go. The dance is over. We are not safe another moment.
I'll wait for you on the street.
Yes, do. You must take me home.
I was never so happy in all my life.
Co za zmiana! Co za zmiana! Mieć do kogo pracować? Dom do uszczęśliwienia? Będę musiała zabrać się porządnie do pracy. O, chciałabym, żeby już przyszli. Oh, they must be here. I must get my things.
We will return to the continuing story of Home with the Helmers after this message from our sponsor, Keeler and Peterson. Keeler and Peterson, inspired sweets since 1879. Enjoy Keeler and Peterson's macaroons in fat-free, sugar-free, and with added caffeine And now, for a limited time, you have the chance to win a lifetime supply of the inspired sweets you've come to know you can't be without. You may find a message in your favorite Keeler and Peterson treat. Go ahead. Nibble a macaroon or two. Keeler and Peterson. And now we return to the continuing story of Home with the Helmers.
What a change! What a change! To have someone to work for, a home to make happy. I shall have to set to work in earnest. Oh, I wish they would come. Here they are. I must get my things.
No, I won't go in. I'll go upstairs again. I don't want to leave so early.
But my dearest girl.
Please, Torvald, just 1 hour more.
Not 1 minute more. Nora, dear, you know what we agreed. Come in. You're catching a cold here.
Good evening.
Kristine!
What? Mrs. Linden, you here so late?
Yes, pardon me. I did so want to see Nora in her costume.
Have you been sitting here waiting for me?
Yes, unfortunately I came too late. You had already gone upstairs and I couldn't go away without seeing you.
Well then, just look at her. I think she's worth looking at. Isn't she lovely, Mrs. Linden?
Yes, I must say so.
Isn't she exquisite? Everyone said so. But she's dreadfully obstinate, dear little creature. What's to be done with her? Just think, I almost had to force her away.
Torvald, you'll be sorry someday you didn't let me stay, even for 1/2 hour.
There. You hear her, Mrs. Linden? She dances her tarantella with wild applause. And well, she deserved it, I must say, though there was perhaps a little too much nature in her render of the idea, more than was strictly artistic. Never mind. She made a great success, and that's the main thing. Ought I to let her stay after that? To weaken the impression? Oh, not if I know it. I took my sweet little Capri girl, my capricious little Capri girl, I might say, under my arm, a rapid turn around the room, a curtsy to all sides, and as they say in novels, the lovely apparition vanished. An exit should always be effective, Mrs. Linden. But I can't get Nora to see it. By Jove, it's warm in here. What? No light here. Oh, of course, excuse me.
Well,
I have spoken to him.
and
Nora, you must tell your husband everything.
I knew it.
You have nothing to fear from Krogstad, but you must speak out.
I shall not speak.
Then the letter will.
Thank you, Kristine. Now I know what I have to do. Hush.
Well, Mrs. Linden, have you admired her?
Yes, and now I will say good night.
What? Already? Does this knitting belong to you?
Yes, thanks. I've nearly forgotten it.
Then you do knit.
Yes.
You know, you ought to embroider instead.
Indeed? Why?
Because it's so much prettier. Look, you hold the embroidery in the left hand, so, and then you work the needle with the right hand in long, easy curve, don't you?
Yes, I suppose so.
But knitting is always so ugly. Look now, your arms close to your sides and needles going up and down. There's something Chinese about it. They really gave us some splendid champagne tonight.
Well, good night, Nora, and don't be obstinate anymore.
Well said, Mrs. Linden.
Good night, Mr. Helmer.
Good night, good night. I hope you'll get safely home. Well, I should be glad to. But really, you haven't far to go? Good night, good night. At least we've got rid of her. She's an awful bore.
Join us next time for the continuing story of Home with the Helmers.